All eyes are on Tropical Storm Fred as it continues to make its way closer to the northern Gulf Coast. I'll time everything out and talk about what our impacts look like here at home coming up.
Today, Governor Brian Kemp will announce new steps to help Georgia hospitals deal with the latest COVID-19 surge. We have the details.
Plus, from food drives to a film festival, we're looking at the events happening this week.
A longtime Dublin School District administrator received a special honor. I'm going to tell you why he was so important to the Dublin community.
Well, good Monday morning. You're taking a live look out there in Houston County. You see I-75, people are already up and at 'em. The time is now 6:30 on this August 16th. I hope you're feeling good. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling good. I'm Juan Aries.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. We are also feeling very focused this morning because, of course, we are watching Fred this morning. Courtney, what's the latest on that?
Yeah, Fred is continuing to strengthen this morning, and it is forecast to continue to do so as it makes its way closer to making a landfall somewhere west of the Pensacola area later tonight. So as of the 5 a.m. advisory, winds sustained at 50, not moving super quickly, so that is going to allow it to continue to strengthen. The storm is forecast to make a landfall again somewhere west of the Pensacola area and then make its way over the Alabama-Georgia line come tomorrow afternoon as it parallels central Georgia to the west as a tropical depression. So because we are on the right side of this landfalling tropical system, we do have a low-end severe threat for most of the area. This will start tonight and go into tomorrow morning. Can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado within those outer convective rain bands that we will start to experience really starting this morning. But I think we'll be focused on that potential for severe weather as we head into the evening through the overnight into tomorrow. So very important you have a way to receive weather warnings. Heavy rain and wind are going to be our threat, so flash flooding also possible. I'm going to time everything out for you. That's in a few minutes.
New from overnight, a road is closed in Washington County after a train derailment. Washington County Sheriff Joe Cochran says it happened around 1 this morning in Oconee. Central Drive is blocked off until further notice. Crews are working to clean up the crash site. The sheriff shared these photos of the wreckage with us. About 32 cars went off the tracks. You can see them scattered and piled up along the track right there on your screen. Cochran says no one got hurt. Right now, there's no word on what caused the train to derail. We're also working to find out what the train was carrying.
Well, today, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp will give you an update on the COVID-19 pandemic here in the state. He and Department of Public Health Commissioner Dr. Kathleen Toomey plan to announce additional steps to support Georgia's hospitals and encourage state employees to get vaccinated. That's happening at 4 o'clock at the state capitol. And nearly 24 states and the District of Columbia want a federal judge to hear evidence in the lawsuit against Georgia's new voting law. The Justice Department suing Georgia and the Republican National Committee over the voting law passed after the 2020 election. They claim certain provisions constrict voting methods favored by black Georgians. The state of Georgia asked for a judge to dismiss the case, saying there is nothing discriminatory in the text of the law. Atlanta attorney Paige Pate filed a brief supporting the federal government on behalf of those 21 states along with D.C. He says they want to make sure the case isn't dismissed before they have a chance to provide evidence.
The issue is becoming, is discriminatory intent enough? Can you strike down the law even though if you read it, it doesn't say that it's intending to discriminate against anyone? The argument is, I don't care what the law itself says. It's the consequences of putting this law on the book, the results that will inevitably happen as a result of this law. They know better than to write in the law itself, we're going to discriminate against a group of people. But I think the effect and the motivation here is crystal clear.
Pate says he expects a ruling on the motion soon.
And other headlines from across the state, health insurance costs won't change for Georgia public school teachers and state employees next year. According to the Associated Press, the State Department of Community Health approved 2022 rates last week. It affects the 650,000 people insured by the state health benefit plan. The department's board voted last summer to raise premiums this year by an average of 5%. Deductibles and copays remain the same, as will the providers offering coverage.
We'll chalk up another win for Georgia in its water war with Alabama and Florida. A judge ruled a federal agency doesn't have to revise its plans for how it operates dams along the Chattahoochee and Flint rivers. Environmental groups and the state of Alabama sued the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in 2017. They said the agency's plans held too much water in reservoirs in the Apalachicola Chattahoochee Flint Basin. It's the second win for Georgia after the U.S. Supreme Court rejected Florida's effort this spring to cap how much water Georgia could use.
People are mourning a longtime legislator. Savannah area Democrat Mickey Stevens died Saturday. Stevens was so popular he won re-election last year, even though he had been sidelined with illnesses since 2019. Governor Brian Kemp described him as a dedicated public servant and advocate for the Savannah community. Edward Mickey Stevens was 77 years old.
Well, the Atlanta Ballet is turning to a leader in the film industry as its new executive director. The ballet said Thursday that Tom West, chief advancement officer at the American Film Institute in Los Angeles, will fully take on those new duties at the ballet at the end of September. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution first announced that selection. He joins the ballet as it looks to stay on point after the pandemic.
Preparations for a new bridge, a food drive for veterans, and the return of the Macon Film Festival. You know, here at 13, we're going to always make sure that you are ready for the week ahead. Preparations are set to begin Monday to replace Dublin's Buckeye Road Bridge. Weather permitting, crews will begin clearing activities to prep for the 3-month, $1.7 million project. No date has been determined for a detour to begin. However, GDOT hopes to have the new bridge complete by the end of March.
Well, the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center will help Central Georgia veterans with a food giveaway this week. They're partnering with the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank for that event Wednesday. It's happening from 11 to 1 at the Dublin VA Medical Center campus. It is a drive-through event and you will need to show proof of veteran status.
And the Macon Film Festival is celebrating its 16th annual event with a hybrid festival this coming week. In-person screenings begin on Thursday and will take place at the Douglas Theater, Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and the Planetarium at the Museum of Arts and Sciences. Over 85 films from around the world are slated to be showcased during the hybrid festival. The 2021 lineup also features multiple Georgia-made blocks, including 2 Macon filmmaker showcases. The festival, it runs through August the 29th. Well, the time is now 6:41 a.m. and I'm like, why go see a film when, the weather always gives us an Emmy-winning, type of weather event every week. It's cold. We got a cold front. Then it's hot. Now we got a storm. We just can't catch a break.
It's really putting on a show this week.
That's right. Yeah, it's been quite the roller coaster of the summer.
Yes.
We've had really rare summertime cold fronts, low humidity, and then the soupiness that comes with summer in Central Georgia, and now, of course, tropical systems. Tropical Storm Fred, of course, the one we're keeping a very close eye on. You've probably heard us talk about Tropical Storm Grace a little bit over the past few days. Good news about that is that that storm is not expected to bother us, so we like that. What we are going to be focused on, of course, is Tropical Storm Fred. As of the 5 a.m. advisory, winds at 50 miles per hour starting to strengthen, moving north at 9, not moving very quickly. So the longer it stays over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, the more opportunity it has to strengthen, and it is forecast to do so. Latest track from the National Hurricane Center shows Fred will make a landfall somewhere west of the Pensacola area along the panhandle of Florida. As we head into tonight, notice sustained winds of 60 miles per hour at this point. Fred will make its way into southern Alabama as a tropical storm still and fall apart very quickly. So notice as Fred goes over the Alabama-Georgia line, it will go back to tropical depression status as it parallels our area. So are widespread tropical storm force conditions expected here? No, but we could see tropical storm force wind gusts in our westernmost counties. Now, of course, we are going to be on the right side of a landfalling tropical system, and with that brings the potential for severe weather. Most of central Georgia under a low-end threat for severe storms, and we are watching for that potential for a brief spin-up tornado. Thankfully, with tropical systems, you don't get those long track springtime tornadoes. They're usually very brief, only last a scan or two, but it's still a threat that we will be watching for as we head into the evening tonight through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. So it's extra important you have a way to receive weather warnings with that overnight threat possible. Right now, we are mainly quiet. A couple of light showers down in Wilcox County. Notice over towards the coast, very heavy downpours, and that is some of the outer rain bands from Tropical Storm Fred. And we will experience those today. On and off heavy tropical downpours will be fairly likely, especially as we head into the afternoon and Fred makes its way closer to the northern Gulf Coast. So as we head towards 3 o'clock, we'll start to heat up, and those outer rain bands will take advantage of some of the fuel from the day. So we could have a few strong storms for the afternoon, but I do think as we head into the evening evening hours when Fred is starting to make a landfall. That's when we're really going to have to pay attention for maybe a brief spin up within these outer rain bands that will continue to roll through. As we head through the overnight, here's 3 o'clock. Fred moving through southern Alabama, giving us those on and off heavier tropical downpours, very gusty wind at this point as well. And again, that brief spin up tornado threat within the outer rain bands. Downgrading into a tropical depression as we head into tomorrow afternoon, bringing very heavy rain to parts of North Georgia as well. And as it passes us, thankfully it will be weakening. So like I said, we're not expecting widespread tropical storm force conditions, but we will have that potential for maybe some tropical storm force wind gusts in our westernmost counties. We'll start to pick up the breeze this afternoon. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning. Again, west of Macon, you are going to experience slightly higher impacts from Fred as it moves inland because you will be closer to that center of circulation. So by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, some of our western counties could be gusting as high as 35, maybe even 40 miles per hour. As that center moves over the Alabama and Georgia line late tomorrow morning, will still stay very breezy. And also with all the rain we're going to receive in a short period of time, and really we've been quite unsettled the past week, you can't completely rule out maybe a tree falling over, and that is going to lead for that potential for maybe some power outages. Is that going to be a widespread threat for us? I don't think so, but it is definitely possible. From Fred alone, 1 to 3 inches of rain, and then we're going to keep a lot of moisture in the forecast. So that means rain chances are going to stay pretty elevated through the week. So notice we could pick up upwards of 4 inches of rain in some of our westernmost counties as we head through the next 7 days. So all eyes on Fred over today and tomorrow. Have a way to receive weather warnings, and we'll be unsettled the rest of the 7 day.